Aloha and welcome back to my channel, Astrology Dome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Galit Raymond and I'm a Western astrologer. Today I'm going to talk to you about the full moon at 6 degrees Aries that is going to take place on September 29. And this is the last full moon that we're having before eclipse season. So it's an important full moon, especially in Aries, because it is highlighting a very important part of our life. It is highlighting the self versus others. This is a sensitive point for each and every one of us because we're constantly in relationship with the world around us. We're in relationship with ourselves, but with so many other people, be it personal relationship, intimate relationship, co-working relationship, even platonic friendship. Those are all relationship, and this full moon is going to touch upon the core essence of relationship. So a full moon is always a time where the sun and the moon are in opposite sides and we get to see something that we couldn't see before because the symbolism is that there is more light on the planet. So something is being illuminated for us and we get to see better, which sometimes can bring very high emotions. That's why full moons are always a time of high emotions, because suddenly we discover something or we experience something that we haven't felt before. And this experience is always an emotional one, right? It's a full moon. So the moon is the representative of our emotions. And when the emotions run high, we're all getting triggered somehow because the moon always symbolizes where we get triggered. Those are the subconscious programming that we all are carrying from our childhood. So wherever this full moon lands in your chart, this is the house and life department that's going to be highlighted for you. But regardless where it is in your chart, it's going to highlight for each and every one of us the axis of Libra Aries. The sun will be in Libra, 6 degrees Libra. The moon will be at 6 degrees Aries. And this is the axis of relationship. So let me share my screen and let's see what this is bringing to our lives. So here is the sun at 6 degrees Libra, and here is the moon at 6 degrees Aries. This full moon is taking place on September 29 at 2:57 a.m. I casted the chart for Los Angeles. You can cast the chart for wherever you are in the world. I'm not going to talk about the houses that those planets occupy. I'm just going to talk about the energies. So those energies are going to be the same effect for everybody wherever you are. It's the dynamics between the planets that we're talking about. So moon in Aries in opposition to the sun in Libra, the axis of relationship. Opposition is always an uncomfortable situation because one side, it's the moon in Aries saying, I want to be independent. I want to speak my truth. I want to do things for myself. It's the me part of us. And then the sun in Libra is saying, I want to be together. I want to be in relationship. I want to do the us dance. How can we come to compromise and harmonize and bring more balance? So right away, there is an opposition between the needs of the moon and the needs of the sun at that particular moment. And we all have that opposition within ourselves. It depends where we are on that axis, where we personally are on that axis, and what is our favorite flavor on that axis. We are never either this or that. We can be closer to becoming more independent and wanting to keep our freedom naturally in our chart, or we can be more dependent and wanting to be in relationship and wanting to be harmony and be diplomatic and create balance. Where is this axis in your chart and how much are you leaning towards one side or another? Or maybe you're in the middle, bringing that desired balance. But in any event, it's going to be activated for you in your chart. So the main themes for this full moon is the Aries moon, which is talking about self and self-assertion, and I want that. And then others, companionship, togetherness, relationship. What do we need to do in relationship in order to have in relationship? We need to compromise. We need to negotiate. We need to come to the middle ground and agree on something that we may not 100% like, but for the relationship we may do it. But at the same time, we want to keep our independence and our truth. How do we do that? How can we keep our truth and speak our truth and keep our needs met and still be in a beautiful relationship. So this is what this full moon is going to highlight for each and every one of us. How do we do this delicate dance? It is a delicate dance, isn't it? So we have some helpers in this full moon, and I like to show them to you. Let's look at the chart again. So here's Uranus at 22 degrees of Taurus in a direct trine to Mercury at 20 degrees of Virgo, in a direct trine to Pluto at 27 degrees of Capricorn. Again, that Pluto is trining Uranus again. So this is a grand trine in Earth, which is a great help for this could be impulsive full moon, right? The moon in Aries could be impulsive, could bring out frustration. I'm not being heard. My needs are not being met. It's hard for me. I'm going to lash out. The moon in Aries can do that. If you own a moon in Aries, you know it. A moon in Aries is impatient. It wants to have things resolved now. The only time for Aries is now. So being impatient and getting agitated and getting reactive can lead to some outbursts. But that grand trine in earth signs between Uranus, Mercury is our capacity to communicate, to think clearly, and Pluto, the ability to focus on something, and it's in earth sign, this grand trine, helps us create more stability. Instead of agitation, it is kind of calming down, saying, let's see the practical side of every situation, because every situation can have a really practical, logical side. Let's not jump to conclusion. Let's not savor the relationship. Let's not run away. Let's not get angry or frustrated or say some words that we don't want to say and then we'll be sorry that we said them. Let's not be impulsive like that Aries fiery moon wants to do. Let's take the time and think this through. So I think the best advice for this full moon in Aries is to stay calm. As much as those emotions may be bubbling up and are disturbing you, take the opportunity and the help of that grand trine in earth signs and think this through. Think logically, bring more solutions, see more possibilities. Ask yourself, why is this situation is happening in my life right now? What is the message? What is the gift behind this situation? What is it teaching me? What do I see about myself right now that I need to learn to be more this or that? What is going on? And why am I being so triggered? Why am I being so reactive? Because that moon is reactive in Aries. And definitely wherever you have Aries in your chart, that's going to react. You're going to be reactive there. And so look at that. Pay attention. Say, what is the learning experience? Why am I reactive? And why am I being so triggered? What's underneath that trigger? What am I holding as a belief there that maybe I should pay attention? Maybe I can bring that belief into more balance within myself, therefore creating a different reaction from myself. Because every time we are reactive, there is something unresolved within ourselves. So what is it? A full moon is always a great time to discover what it is. And this full moon is so important because I want to show you something else in the chart. And this is the moon at 6 degrees Aries. And we have the North Node in Aries signaling to the collective and saying, hey, everybody, you need to find out what your core identity is and assert your truth. Speak your truth. And look at Chiron. Chiron is sitting exactly, almost exactly, at the midpoint between the moon and the North Node, saying, let's heal that wounded identity. Because every time we are reactive, especially emotionally, that means we don't own that part. We didn't work enough, or we don't recognize enough what this part wants and needs. And so we didn't practice enough saying loud and clear what that part needs are. What are your or my needs in relationship? If we say it in a really calm way, a very practical way, grand trine in earth sign, and our partners are hearing us, this validates ourselves, our truth. So how can we become more clear in our expression. That grand trine in earth signs involves Mercury. How can you become more clear in your expression and say what you need to say? But it's how we say it, right? If we say it out of an outburst, an emotional outburst, we may not say it the right way and we may cause damage. So think about that dynamic within yourself. What is triggering you? What do you need to say more clearly and in a very calm way, in a very stable way to effect change? Why do we want to say things in relationship? Because we want to evolve that relationship to a place of more balance, more harmony, more love, more cooperation. This is the Libra traits, and the sun is in Libra. And not just that, look at Mars sitting on the south node in Libra, and Mars in Libra is in its detriment. That means Mars in Libra is not strong, but its main desire is to bring cooperation. And Mars is the ruler of the moon in Aries. Mars is sitting on the south node saying, I was creating some frustration in my relationship. I'm frustrated. Here are my frustrations. I'm not being heard. This is not fair, right? It's about justice. This is not fair what's going on. Either it's a codependency relationship, or you're giving too much, or you're getting too little, whatever that is, or your partner is complaining, or some sort of relationship is complaining that there is no fairness or justice in that relationship. And that Mars is a warrior. It is not really a listener. Mars is that impulse to take. And Mars in Libra doesn't want to take. It wants to create more amicable situation, more harmony. And so Mars is sitting on the south node saying, let's investigate what are your reactive mechanisms from the past, from the first conditioning, from your home, from things that you picked up through your life. What is this conditioning? Are you codependent? Libra. Are you giving too much? Libra. Do you have healthy boundaries? Libra. Are you activated by injustice that you perceive that it's injustice, or is it really true? So Mars is sitting on the south node, can be reactive, but in order for you to find out why you are reactive, and it has another quality saying, I can help you resolve those old patterns and recode them and change them to be more supportive of yourself showing up in relationship. So you see that dynamic of Mars being the ruler of the moon, and Mars is in Libra, the opposite side of the moon, and the moon is together with the north node. That axis is really being activated. And let's not forget that this is happening. This is the last full moon before eclipse season, and those eclipses, since the nodes have changed signs into Aries and Libra, those eclipses are going to be in Aries and Libra for the next year and a half. We're all going to work on that axis of relationship for a while now and take it to the next level, evolve the way we show up in relationship and what do we want out of relationship. So it's about clarity. What do you want? What would be the perfect relationship for you? If you can imagine that relationship, how is it playing out? What's your part in it? What's your partner's part in it? What other relationships around you, family dynamics are important, right? They're very important. They are an integral part of our life. They're making us who we are, and we all have some sort of family dynamics. What do you want to see in your family dynamics? Those are all very important questions, and this is the time to ask those questions because some occurrences, some experiences will come to life. Every time we have a full moon, we have an experience come. So we can play it out and see what it is. It's not just a mental idea that we're contemplating. It is playing out in real time. It is activating our emotional body. And so once you play it out and you see your reaction and the other people's reaction, you can ask yourself better questions, maybe come up with better solutions to bring more harmony, to bring more peace to that relationship. One more thing that's going on in the chart is that Neptune here in Pisces is in direct opposition to Mercury in Virgo. Now, that means that either things are not clear or either things needs to be clarified, and so they will surface or you will reveal something that you don't know. So something will come up and that will be kind of an understanding, a higher understanding. Now, Neptune and Mercury together, and especially in opposition, is something that you really don't see clearly. So don't react. You see, that moon will propel you, will kind of entice you to be reactive and maybe be aggressive. It's Aries after all, and maybe be impulsive. But that Neptune is not clear. So wait until you understand. Wait until something will be revealed to you and you'll understand the deeper meaning behind the dynamics that is happening. I hope that makes sense. The last thing I want to talk about is Venus in Leo, sextiling Mars here and the South Node. So Venus in Leo, she wants love, she wants to be loved, she wants to be appreciated, she wants to be recognized. And her dance with Mars lately has been that of a sextile. A sextile is opportunity. Opportunity to appreciate yourself, first of all. Opportunity to recognize how you show up in relationship and actually what is important for you in relationship. And by sextiling the South Node, Venus is giving you an opportunity to see your old patterns play out and reconsider those patterns. Are they bringing you joy or not? And if not, what needs to change? Mercury is in processing Virgo, helping you fix things, helping you heal things. So this is a good opportunity to see those patterns and ask yourself those very important questions. What is important for you in relationship? And how do you want to be loved? We all have a different style of love language. What's important for you? Touch, intimacy, talking, communicating, doing things together. What is your love language? And can you communicate that clearly to your partner, to the people around you, and tell them this is what I need in relationship? And maybe get curious and ask them what they need in relationship. What is their love language? What are their needs? And maybe come to a conclusion that maybe you'll do that better or differently with them next time, and see how that plays out. Life is all about experimenting and experiencing. That is the journey of life. And so we got to experience what we think, and the new knowledge that we acquire, we have to play it out in reality and experience and understand through that experience if it works or not. And if it doesn't work, we can change our strategy. We can change the way we do things. Easier said than done, right? But that is the journey. Get new knowledge, new understanding, new awareness, and start implementing it and start playing it out and see how you grow with that and see new results happening as a result of you changing your perception. After all, life is what we believe to be true and how we perceive reality and how we play into that perception. So overall, I see this full moon in Aries as a great opportunity to play out that axis of self and others, me and you, my truth and your truth, and how do we do that dance to bring more balance and more harmony and more beauty and more love into that relationship that we have. But first of all, we have to be loving ourselves, right? We have to be in good relationship with ourselves. And this is always a work in progress. The more you love yourself, the more you accept yourself, the more you are in harmony with the self, the better you can show up in relationship. So as always, please work on yourself and keep evolving to the next version of you. So enjoy this full moon, prepare for it, be ready, don't be impulsive, remember that, and embrace. Embrace the grace that Libra can bring, and we are in Libra season. So what is grace for you? Ponder and wonder about that and see how you can show up in life with more grace. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care of yourself and become the best version of yourself today and every day. I will see you next time.